Hi, my name is Megan Kinney, and I'm going to be presenting my final case analysis on the diversity at Aetna. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my presentation. So let's just get right into it. So I'm going to first present what I'm going to be showing you in this presentation and talking about. I'm first going to summarize my position statement. So basically what is going on in this analysis. Then I'm going to analyze, which is going to talk about how should Raymond Marcos make a strong case. And then I'm going to present some recommendations on what Aetna can do in the future. So I'm just going to sum up my position statement a little bit. So Raymond Marcos, the Chief Diversity Officer at Aetna, one of the nation's most diverse healthcare benefits companies, needs to present a strong and convincing business case to Aetna's board of directors regarding the importance of their company's diversity initiatives. Due to tough economic times, the board is looking where to cut expenses where they see fit. And Raymond must convince the board that this is more than just compliance, but actually valuable business opportunities for Aetna. So now I'm going to get into the analysis. So I formatted the analysis in a couple different ways. I think that Raymond should start with the history of Aetna. So basically, Aetna is the leading diversified healthcare companies. They lead diversity and give inspiration to other companies to become more diverse. They have an extremely diverse customer base and employee base. For example, they have 35,000 employees and 31% are people of color and 76% are women, which I was absolutely astonished by because that is definitely not the norm in America or the world. So I think that's a really strong point that he can present. Also in 2009, they celebrated 100 years of employing women, which is just so awesome. And then in 1973, Aetna brought on Harbert Taylor Jr., which was an African-American man onto their board of directors. And they are definitely known for this diversity because they have countless awards. For example, they were awarded Reader's Choice Best by Diversity Company by Engineering and Information Technology. Then I think he should go into how diversity is at Aetna's core. So it's ingrained in company values and in their business and operating systems. Their current diversity strategy, for example, is interconnected with its overarching HR strategy. You can see the quote here that this was the HR statement. HR will be accountable for the advancement of diverse, high-performance workforce to sustain industry leadership. And then it's also written in their value-based approach in their business. So their core values are integrity, employee engagement, excellence, and accountability, and quality services and values. Valuing diversity is written under employee engagement, meaning it's literally written in their values already. Then the continuation of that diversity is written in their integrated workforce strategy. So they're not just promoting being diverse, but they're promoting the continuation of it, which I think is really important in Raymond's case, because he's not just going in there trying to keep these diversity initiatives, but he wants to continue funding and continue innovating them and being that market leader. Diversity is also wrapped into their areas of operation. For example, Aetna has a program where they reach out to minority and women-owned businesses to compete for their business. This benefits both parties by giving the suppliers business, while Aetna is given high-quality goods and access to multicultural markets. Then the last section, and debatably the most important section that he should present, is how diversity provides value to Aetna, because that's really what the board is going to be looking for. So Marcos should present that while not free, diversity initiatives are valuable investments that provide long-term value. For example, of how it provides value is their employee resource groups. So African-American ERGs, for example, participate in focus groups to give ideas on how to get access for urban markets. Asian and Hispanic ERG groups provide translation, which is actually extremely beneficial because it prevents the troubles that come with communication barriers in business relations. And then another really important thing to note is their ICE strategy, which is Aetna's diversity strategy, standing for integration, communication, and education. The main outcomes desired is to serve customers in current markets more effectively while identifying opportunities in new markets. This strategy is acknowledging that Aetna's need for knowing their customers and employees at their deepest level, which will really be beneficial to them. Lastly, the most convincing point that Marcos should finish with is showing that link between Aetna's strategic business goals and the diversity outcomes. Aetna's business goals includes things such as profitability, growing market shares and earnings, creating customer value through innovation and technology, and enhancing our diverse, high-performance culture and workforce. The diversity outcomes that stem from these could include, for example, enhancing workforce capabilities to address needs of multicultural markets, and creating a diverse work environment that maximizes employee contribution and productivity. I'm confident that if Marcos presents these persuasive points that show how the business goals of Aetna can be reached with the help of diversity initiatives, he will definitely get the board behind this easily. It'll be a no-brainer at all. And so now I am going to get into my recommendations. So the goals of further recommendations should be to provide value for Aetna while providing value to the people and communities they support. So I divided these into short and long-term goals. So for short term, I think that first, instead of having company recruits travel all around the nation, having costly expenses for things such as plane trips and hotels, I recommend that Aetna utilize their local employees of Aetna's varying locations to do this work for them with their local communities so that the cost of travel are diminished. I also recommend that they implement even more creative diversity initiatives in-house. So this can include honoring all diverse holidays and celebrating as a team. They could further promote a positive and inclusive company culture. And it would be a great learning opportunity. And they could also even potentially give days off to holidays that aren't as common. Everybody has off Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that, but they're often American corporate doesn't honor other special holidays for different cultures that are common in America. So I think that would be really innovative of them. And they could also create a peer-to-peer buddy system where employees that are stereotypically different can learn from each other and use each other as support. And then most importantly, my short-term goals are anonymous recruiting, which would remove all bias during the recruitment process. So basically, for at least the initial stages of recruiting, you wouldn't know their age, their race, their gender. And I think that would really remove conscious and unconscious biases. And lastly, long-term goals. Aetna should support more than just surface differences. They should develop a disability initiative, which would involve Aetna hiring disabled Americans. People with disabilities are twice as likely to be unemployed, which is a huge portion of our employed percentage in the United States. Employing disabled employees would give them the opportunity to provide for their families and their communities. It would also grow Aetna's workforce, leading to an increase in productivity and efficiency. It would provide great press for Aetna, and they would give them that competitive edge to continue to be innovators. Lastly, Aetna should incorporate diversity into their products and services. For example, they could develop ad campaigns surrounding the importance of diversity and the importance of coming together in this crazy time we are living in. Also, they could promote donating a portion of their earnings to minority organizations in America. This will continue to have positive effects on Aetna's reputation and grow diversity of awareness. So that's what I basically think Aetna could do better or do in the future to really improve and innovate their diversity initiatives. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.